There are 5 phone calls that could take everything you've saved for retirement, and you'll probably never see them coming. Marjorie Bloom didn't. She'd spent 42 years as a federal attorney. She was careful. She was experienced. She'd navigated the most complex legal system in the world for 4 decades. And one afternoon, her phone rang, and $661,000 was gone. The FBI says Americans over 60 lost $3.1 billion to phone-based fraud in a single year. Not $3.1 million, $3.1 billion. And that number's climbing every year. Here's what makes that statistic so important to understand. The people losing this money aren't naive. They're not careless. They're experienced, intelligent adults who've spent their entire lives making sound decisions. Marjorie Bloom's proof of that. The scams taking retirement savings right now aren't the obvious poorly spelled emails from Nigerian princes everyone jokes about. They're sophisticated, multi-step operations run by organized criminal networks that spend weeks or months building trust before they ask for a single dollar. There are 5 specific types of calls responsible for the vast majority of these losses. 5 calls, 5 scripts, 5 different ways someone can reach into your retirement account from the other side of the world. By the end of this video, you'll be able to recognize all 5, and you'll know the exact response that makes it impossible for the scam to proceed. Let's start with the call Marjorie got. It's the most common one, and understanding exactly how it works is what makes it stoppable. The tech support call follows a script so consistent across thousands of documented cases that it's almost word for word every time. Your computer screen displays an alarming message. Sometimes it's a pop-up. Sometimes it appears to freeze your browser. The message says your computer's been compromised, your accounts are at risk, and you need to call a number immediately. You call. Someone answers and says they're from Microsoft or Apple or your internet provider. They're calm. They're professional. They use technical language that sounds legitimate. They tell you foreign hackers have accessed your financial accounts and that you need to act quickly to protect your savings. Then they transfer you to someone who says they're from your bank's fraud department. That's the moment Marjorie's scam shifted into its second phase. The second person, the fake bank fraud investigator, told her that to protect her accounts from the hackers, she needed to move her money into a temporary secure account. They'd hold it safely while the fraud was being investigated, then return it once the threat was cleared. Over the following weeks, Marjorie liquidated a $400,000 stock portfolio she'd inherited from her parents. She cashed out a $200,000 annuity that would have paid her $2,700 every single month for the next 30 years. She converted the money to gold and handed it to strangers in parking lots. $661,000. Gone. Here's what you need to understand about this call and every variation of it. Microsoft doesn't call you. Apple doesn't call you. Your bank's fraud department doesn't ask you to move your money to protect it. Moving money is never the solution to a fraud threat. It's always, without exception, the fraud itself. The correct response to any version of this call is to hang up immediately. Then call your bank directly using the number on the back of your card, not the number the caller gives you. If there's a real problem with your account, that call will confirm it. There never is. One more protection that would have stopped Marjorie's loss entirely. A trusted contact on file at your financial institution. One name, a child, a sibling, a trusted friend, who can be called before large transfers are approved. Call your bank or brokerage this week and add one. It takes 5 minutes. That's call number 1. The next one's harder to recognize because the caller sounds like exactly who they say they are. The government impersonation call is the most frightening version of phone fraud, because it triggers a fear that most people can't think clearly through. The caller says they're from the IRS, the Social Security Administration, Medicare, or the FBI. They say there's a problem with your account. Your Social Security number's been compromised. There's a warrant for your arrest for tax fraud. Your Medicare benefits are being suspended. The details vary. The fear response is always the same. A practicing attorney documented one of the most devastating versions of this call. The scammers posed as federal agents. They convinced him his identity had been used in a criminal investigation and that his financial accounts were at risk of seizure. To protect his assets, he needed to transfer his IRA to a secure government-approved account they'd provide. He did. Then he bought gold and transferred that too. When it was over, he'd lost his entire retirement savings. Then came a second blow. Because the IRA withdrawal was treated as taxable income, he owed the IRS $285,000 in taxes. Money scammers had already stolen. He lost his savings twice. Once to the scammers, once to the tax bill on the withdrawal. Here's the rule that stops this call every time. No government agency will ever call you and ask you to move money, buy gift cards, purchase gold, or take any financial action to protect your accounts or avoid arrest. That's not how any government agency operates, ever. If you get a call like this, hang up. Then call the agency directly using the number from their official website, ssa.gov, irs.gov, medicare.gov. Not any number the caller provides. Report the call to the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov. That's call number 2. The third call's the one that feels the most personal, because it involves someone you love. The remaining 3 calls work differently from the first 2. Instead of creating fear about your accounts or your computer, they create fear about someone you love, or hope about someone you could love. Emotion, not alarm, is the mechanism. Call number 3, the grandparent scam. Your phone rings. Someone says, "Grandma, it's me. I'm in trouble." Or they say it's a grandchild's friend, calling because your grandchild's been in an accident, or arrested, or stranded somewhere. They need money immediately. And please don't tell mom and dad. They don't want you to worry. The FBI calls this the grandparent scam, and it costs American seniors hundreds of millions of dollars every year. What makes it so effective is the combination of urgency, secrecy, and love. The caller's counting on the fact that the fear of a grandchild in danger will override your judgment faster than almost any other trigger. The rule: before you send a single dollar, hang up and call your grandchild directly on the number you already have for them. Not the number the caller gives you, your number. If there's a real emergency, that call will confirm it. In almost every documented case, the grandchild's perfectly fine and has no idea the call was made. Call number 4, the romance scam. This one develops slowly, over weeks or months, which is what makes it so devastating by the time the financial loss occurs. You meet someone online. They're warm, attentive, interested in you. The relationship develops through messages and calls. Then, when genuine emotional attachment has formed, they tell you they're in trouble. They need money. It could be a medical emergency, a business problem, a visa issue. They'll pay you back the moment they can get home. Americans over 60 lost more than $1.3 billion to romance scams in 2023 alone, according to the FBI. The average loss per victim's significantly higher for older Americans than for any other age group, because older Americans often have more savings to lose. The rule: never send money to someone you haven't met in person. Not once, not ever. No matter how real the relationship feels, no matter how long it's been developing. If the relationship's real, it'll survive your refusal. If it evaporates when you say no, it was never real. Call number 5, the investment opportunity. Call the final call's the one that sounds the most like a legitimate financial conversation. A caller, or an online contact who eventually calls, presents an investment opportunity. High returns, low risk, limited availability. You need to act quickly. The investment platforms look real. They show you an account with growing balances. You can watch your money increase in real time. Then, when you try to withdraw, there are fees, taxes, processing charges, each one designed to extract more money before the platform disappears entirely. It's called pig butchering, a term for the practice of fattening a victim's sense of trust before the slaughter. It's among the fastest-growing categories of financial fraud targeting pre-retirees. The rule: verify any investment platform at sec.gov/check before depositing a single dollar. If someone's pressuring you to invest quickly, that pressure itself is the red flag. Legitimate investments don't expire in 24 hours. 5 calls, 5 different scripts, 5 different emotional triggers. But there's one protection that applies to all of them, and it costs nothing. Slow down. Every one of these scams, the tech support call, the government impersonation call, the grandparent scam, the romance scam, the fake investment, depends on one thing: urgency. They all require you to act now, today, before you have a chance to think, check, or talk to someone you trust. The moment you feel urgency around a financial decision that came from an inbound call or message, stop, hang up, take 24 hours, call someone you trust and tell them what happened. In the documented cases where people caught the scam before losing money, the story's almost always the same. They slowed down long enough to make one phone call to a family member or friend. That call ended the scam, and there's one structural protection worth adding today, beyond slowing down: a trusted contact on file at every financial institution you use. Your bank, your brokerage, your IRA custodian. One name, one phone number, someone who can be called before large transfers are approved. Marjorie Bloom's institution didn't have one. Most people's don't. That gap is why $3.1 billion disappears from retirement accounts every single year. Add yours today. It takes 5 minutes and it can't be undone by a scammer who calls your bank pretending to be you, because the trusted contact's there to confirm the transfer's real before it happens. 5 calls, 1 defense. Slow down and make sure someone you trust can be reached before your money moves.